Hey guys, it's Ken, your Houston realtor out in the Houston area. And today I want to go over some market information for some of y'all that are planning on relocating to the greater Houston area. Maybe you guys were on the fences because of election year that the real estate market was going to crash, or you think that the interest rate, something crazy is going to happen and it's going to crash. So we're going to be going over all the details that you guys need to know in order to make an informed decision on whether it's the right time to purchase for you guys, right? So I'm going to give you guys all the facts and data so you guys can make that decision. And if you guys haven't yet, hit the subscribe button for similar videos just like this. We plan on uploading once a week. Not only that, we're going to be touring many new communities as well too. And if you guys are planning on relocating to the greater Houston area, our team would love to help you guys out. Now let's dive on in. So the website I'm using right now is HAR. That is our MLS. This is how we as realtors operate and how we send clients homes. They also have a lot of data and statistics on here as well too. So if you guys want, feel free to just use this website, search up HAR press release and look at the data yourself, right? But we're looking at the month of January and we're going to go all the way fast forward into the month of March. April, we're currently in April right now, so we can't really predict what's happening until probably sometime next month they're going to release a new article, right? So right over here, guys, we got the month of January. We can see what happened in 2024 and what happened in 2025. And if you guys look at the total property sales, we had more property sales this year than last year. Granted, 2024, guys, I'm telling you, go search it up on Google, ChatGPT, one of the slowest years for real estate agents throughout the nation. Okay? Interest rates was high, the election was around the corner, everybody was on the fence, they didn't know what to do. But with 2025, we see a slight increase in total sales. What you want to also pay attention to is the total amount of inventory available for sale, right? So we did see a huge increase from 3.2 months all the way up to 4.3 months. And what that means is that if we add no more homes for sale onto the market and we just use the existing homes that we have for sale, we don't add any more. In the next 4.3 months, we're not going to have any listings left. So that means that one, the market did slow down. Two, the market is pretty stabilized. Three is that homes are taking longer to sell. And I'm going to show you guys all that in just a little bit. Over here, you're going to notice the average sales price for those. So for those people that are saying the market's going to crash, the market's going to crash, it seems that it's not gonna crash, guys. I'm sorry to burst your bubble, right? But look at the data. The data is all here. The homes prices just keep on going up, right? So, last year it was 389,000. Now we're sitting at the average sales price of $406,000. Same for the median sales price, also increasing by $5,000. Now, the reason why this is happening is primarily because of the luxury sector. So I don't want to give you guys misinformation, right? But the luxury sector is really carrying the entire weight of the Houston real estate market. It's really just boosting it all up. You can kind of see the performance of each price range right here. So I'm gonna try to zoom this in for you guys right here. If you guys look at what's happening for homes between $1 to $100,000, it decreased by 4.1%. If you're looking at homes between 100 to 150, 10.4. Homes between 150 to 250, they increase price by 3%. 250 to 500 decreased by 1.6. And look at this. Once you guys start touching the 500,000 to a million and up, the price points start jumping up. So what does this mean? A lot of people are relocating to the Houston area and increasing the average sales price for all of Houston and the surrounding areas, right? Also, if you look at the days on market, right? The total days on market for it to take us as realtors to sell a home on average is 61 days, right? So that's a lot more longer than when COVID was happening. Interest rate was at an all-time low. Homes were literally selling within days. Before you even list the home, you have multiple offers. It was ridiculous, right? So that was just for the month of January. Let's jump over a little bit and get me back on screen and jump over into the month of February, right? So as mentioned, the home sales cooled down, and people were still selling homes, but it definitely did cool down a little bit. But what you're going to actually notice again is average sales price increasing from $406,000 to 407. Median sales price staying about the same, but you do notice in 2024 to 2025 that there is a dip. The previous year, the median sales price was 328, right? And then now you're looking at 325 this year. Inventory, again, all-time high, and we're just comparing a side by side right here. You know, some movement, as you can see. Now scrolling back down here, you're gonna notice homes between $1 to $100,000 had a huge decrease, around a 23.7. That means that if you guys are planning on purchasing home in this price range and you're very worrisome about where price is heading, I would probably avoid this price range of homes. Even if you guys are investing as well too, depends on your strategy, right? So always get together with a real estate professional, figure out what kind of exit strategy, what's the plan for whether you're going to be living there long term or you're going to be fixing, flipping, renting out the home, right? Whether it's going to perform the way that you want it to perform, and have some guidance, really, right? Homes between $100 to $150,000 have decreased by almost 7%. Again, the 150 to 250, that's where it seems that it's performing well, increased by 2% again. And even the semi-luxury 250 all the way up to the $1 million had a little decrease in performance. But again, that $1 million and above price range, all the luxury buyers, you guys from California, Seattle, wherever you guys are coming from, you guys are bumping up the luxury home prices. And finally, for our final month, we're going to have the month of March. Now, again, this article was just newly written, so if you guys want to see what's happening in the month of April, you're going to have to wait until they write a new article in May about April, right? But scrolling down, you guys are going to notice that as we approach summer, the total amount of sales are starting to increase. We're heading into springtime, we're heading into spring break, and people are relocating a lot more. So we see a huge jump in numbers, right? A lot of total sales volume and huge amount of inventory, about the same on the average sales price, but we do see the single family median sales price increasing by quite a bit. Previously it was 325, now it's jumping up into the 35s. So that's quite a big of a jump. And again, we're looking at these markets down here again. You're going to see average days on market increasing, right? Total amount of inventory increasing. And again, this one is just performing so bad. Homes underneath the $100,000 price range. Basically, every other sector has increased quite a bit, minus the 250,000 and 500,000 sector. But pretty much, I feel that the market has pretty much stabilized with what happened in 2024, with how the election, people were kind of on a standstill. Builders were doing huge price reductions. So let's get to the bottom line. Is it a good time for you guys to purchase a home? Now, this kind of really depends, and it kind of depends on the strategy that you guys decide to do, right? If you guys are planning on getting $1 million home, your best bet might be to build a custom home with a custom builder. Now, you have to, one, vet the custom builder, and two, find an affordable piece of land. This is going to be your best way to get into a luxury home without paying a huge premium inside of these master plan communities. Master plan communities and these spec builders, they make a huge fortune off of you guys. If you guys work with a professional, and if let me know if you guys need help, I do have the contacts. I've helped other clients do this before too, where we go find you guys a lot, we go get a construction loan, and then we put all the pieces together, and you guys can literally build a really nice home for $1 million, even like 500, 600, $700,000. It's gonna be extremely nice. We work with all types of budgets, but just typically when you go into the bigger price ranges, you're gonna have a lot of options, right, in building, especially with how affordable dirt is compared to many of these other parts of the states. Like California, if you're buying a home, primarily you're paying a lot for the dirt, right? You're not paying a lot for a 1,200 square feet home that was built in the 1920s, right? You're paying a lot for the dirt. So over here, the dirt's a lot more affordable. The labor cost is a lot more affordable. And, just putting all those pieces together, you guys could probably save a few $100,000 if you guys were to go this route. And for the other sectors, such as a dollar all the way up to even $500,000, the market's pretty much stabilized. We saw huge drops already. I cannot foresee it dropping anymore because we have so many people interested and waiting on the sideline right now, waiting for the interest rate to drop. And if you guys haven't been following the news, the interest rate has been dropping. So as the interest rate drops more and more, I would be kind of worried like, hey, should I be trying to lock in a lower interest rate, or should I be trying to lock in a lower purchase price? And my recommendations for buyers that are kind of on the fence, I would recommend for you guys to weigh out your options. What I mean by this is that a lot of you guys are on the fence because the interest rate is so high. You might be looking at a 6.5, 6% interest rate. A lot of builders are offering many other solutions that can give you a 4%, 4.5%, a 3-2-1 buy down, where your first year is going to be 3%, following year 4 and 5, right? So I would look into those options as well too, because what tends to happen is that when interest rate is super high, the home prices are going to be lower. But as more and more people wait for that interest rate to go lower, home prices start to increase, similar to what we experienced during COVID times. And for me, the interest rate is going to be a temporary situation where you guys can refinance out of it. So, for example, if you guys are purchasing a home right now for $300,000 at a 7% interest rate, let's say 2 or 3 years down the line, the interest rate goes down to 5, you can always refinance to a lower interest rate. And guess what happens when the interest rate drops from a 7 to a 5%? Home buyers are more eager to buy, and guess what happens to your home price? Your home price goes up. So guys, that's a quick snippet of the Houston real estate market. What do you guys think is gonna happen? And what do you guys think is gonna happen with interest rate over time? Let me know in the comments down below. Until the next video, Umbrella Team out.